Hey, this is Laura Gelson here, and I'm sitting here at the cemetery at the close of the day, which is very fitting for what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to make a statement. It's going to be pretty bold, and it might not be one you want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway. And that is, how you prepare to die is how you live. My first question to you is, why are you working? What is the purpose of your life? Why are you here? Why do you go to work every day? Why do you show up? Why do you show up at your job? I think for most of us the answer can be, well, because I want to make a difference, because I have a wife or I have children and I want to provide for them. I want to give them this full life with experiences and abundance of everything that is here to offer. And I'd say, yeah, I think most of us could answer that. And then I want to ask you, do you believe in life after death? In a spiritual way, in a physical way, an emotional way. Do you believe life goes on after death? Most of us would answer yes. Yes to all of those. So my question for you is, then why are you not prepared for death and life after death? Here in the physical realm. I'm sitting here at a cemetery close to a friend of ours. He passed away quite a couple of years ago. He's 31 years old, young guy, had a wife. They've been married 8 years. For 6 years they've been trying to have a baby. And they found out that she was pregnant. They were so excited to have this event. They had been, one they had been planning and trying for a lot of years. And when she was about 8 months pregnant, he woke up one day and he just wasn't feeling well. Not feeling well at all. And in 21 days he was gone. I watched what happened to her. I watched what happened to her as she could no longer afford the house that they had bought together. She had no money to bury him. She had to make some really hard choices about what life was going to look like for her. This little guy, who ended up being a boy, was born, had already lost his dad. His dad had passed away. Now she had to make the choice, was he going to lose a mom too? Because was she going to go put him in daycare and go work to support him, or was she going to stay home and be a mom with him? She ended up moving in with her family, staying on welfare. It was important to her that one of his parents raise him. It's not a pretty picture. There's a lot of uncertainty, fear, pain that happens at the time of death. And you know what? There's a certain amount of that is unavoidable, but there's a huge amount of that isn't. If you're living to provide a life that is beautiful and abundant for those whom you love, why would you not prepare for that life to continue after you are gone? I had a conversation with two men today. I thought it was really fascinating. Two men, both who told me they didn't believe in insurance. I thought that was a very bold statement for two men who are living. It's easy to say you don't believe in, life insurance when you're living because you're there, you're providing. Let me just ask you, what if you weren't? Would you believe in it then? Would you believe in it if you were standing and looking at your families and you're looking at them wonder how they're going to survive, how they're going to pay their bills? Really, would you believe in it then? It's a bold statement to say you don't need it when you're living and providing. One, I don't know if he was joking or not. I said, well, my wife doesn't either. She'll just go marry some rich guy and do hair. Really? Seriously, or in a joking matter, would you really submit your children and your wife to a loveless marriage? A marriage based on finances. Happens all the time. It's the reality for a lot of women. It's the reality for a lot of kids. Is that really what you want? So I would just ask you to look at the facts. If you are working and living today to provide and make a difference for those people in your life whom you love, why wouldn't you prepare for that when you move on? We are all going to move on. It's not a question of, am I going to die? The most certain thing in our lives is that we are going to die. It's a matter of when and how, not if. So there's nothing more certain in your life than death. and yet it's the thing that you don't want to prepare for? It's the thing that you don't want to look at? I don't know. Those are some questions I think maybe you should ask yourself. And if you're a man who feels like you guys are so confident in your ability to provide for your family, I think that's an amazing, wonderful thing. The reality is as long as you're alive, yes, you can do that. But what if you're not? And is that something you have control over? Then what? Then what? How much certainty is there for your wife and your children or your grandchildren to live and have the abundance that you provided for them? How likely is it they're going to be able to do that? You know, when you talk about life and life value, you cannot assign a dollar to the value of a life. No amount of money will ever replace a dad who can hold his baby, wipe the tears from her eyes, rock her, put her to bed tonight, show up. No amount of money will ever replace that. But I'm here to tell you that when life can go on and there's still abundance and joy and certainty, that can make a world of difference for those who are left behind. Huge difference for a world that's left behind. So, you know, when someone comes to talk to you about insurance, I hope you won't just go, oh, I hate insurance. I don't need insurance. Really? Just take a minute. Just take a minute. Look at the possibility. What would your life be like in 2 weeks if you were gone? If you can look in the mirror and look in the face of those loved ones and say, you would be okay, your life would go on, and you would have abundance, and you would have experiences, then you know what? Good for you. But if you can look your wife in the mirror and look in 2 weeks that you were gone, and you see lacking, and you see fear, and you see uncertainty, then I would encourage you to pick up the phone and make a phone call and get the things that you need in your life that will create peace of mind. Then you can prepare for life. You can prepare for life like you're dying, so that life continues on when you are gone, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, or physically. Life does go on. How our lives go on is the really big question. If I can help you with this in this conversation and help you figure out what you need and who you need it for, please put your information in the box below. I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. The reality is, I have all those things in my place in my life. I have that peace of mind. I have that certainty. It is huge. It makes a big difference to know, regardless, live or die, I'll be okay. That's a gift. That's a tremendous gift. And there's no reason that anybody can't give that gift to the ones that they love. So pick up the phone, make that phone call, insert your number, do what you need to do to give that gift to your loved ones, the ones who rely on you today to provide for them, so that they can have life after your death.